All right, we got another small but good update today. I started to work on the enemy dot system. If you saw the last couple of videos, I prioritized some things that I want to work on to really get that magic back in the game. I'm gonna let this run a little bit so you can see without the volume up. And all we did is we created this cube, or 3 cubes rather. And what it is this enemy dot system where it's kind of creating a new subscene. And in that subscene, it's actually, here's the 3 cubes you can see right in the distance here, and they're moving on their own actually. So we just passed them up. What this does is it's gonna allow me to use that subscene to create a bunch of enemies, like enemy swarms. And I guess it goes in and bakes in that subscene into your main scene. Let me show you what that looks like in the hierarchy here on the bottom left. So I have the main level scene, and I have an entity scene, and then I have the cubes inside of those. Now those cubes, which obviously will be enemies at some point, they have this enemy authoring component to it. Now, the setup here, it's a little enigmatic to me. I still have a lot to learn with how this works, but the idea here is that we're creating a new enemy move system. And instead of using kind of the traditional conversion that Unity does, the dot system in here has its own mathematics, its own kind of entity creation system. And I think that's why it's in that sub scene. So super interesting. We did this enemy move system. We also did this enemy authoring. I can adjust the speed right now for this enemy. And what we're going to do is create a bunch of them. They're going to be created in that sub scene so it doesn't just clutter my main scene and make it go a little crazy. And I think the goal here is that Unity is able to create a ton of those at runtime and bake them into your scene so they don't actually affect your scene's performance. So the game is much more performant. Anyway, that's what I'm digging into today. I'm excited to kind of get this swarm feel of this enemies instead of these individual ships that I'm animating. I think it's going to look awesome. I'm really excited to show you and dig into it. So that's it for today. I'll see you tomorrow.